We are back.
Back indeed.
Back in the building.
Oh my God.
It's all airy in here.
No, man, not that bad.
It's all nah, it's emptier than usual.
Man did this, his legs looking for support. Like,
yeah, like there's no...
Where is she?
Where's she at?
Where's she at, bro? Everyone's just calling in sick these days.
Bro, it's that season, you know.
No, it is. COVID's back as well. Everyone be safe out there.
It's actually back. I need to...
Yeah, do you know what it is? There's a thin line between COVID and the flu at the minute. And the only difference is how long you want off work.
This is it. Like nowadays, like, you know, people will have a cold and be like, oh yeah, I don't want to put anyone at risk.
Sounds like me. the call's coming from inside the house. It sounds like me.
Mate. Oh, mate.
I hear it though.
Nah, it's getting like that though, because like colleagues, they're dropping off.
Hey, don't say it like that. Don't say they're dropping off.
I mean, not like that, but like, you know, they're calling in sick and, you know, they're saying, this one's got COVID or like, you know, just under the weather. And to be honest, bro, like people don't have the motivation at this time of year.
Oh no, come on. I said it maybe like 2 weeks ago. It's this weird period where nothing matters between now and Christmas and New Year's. We're just waiting for the end of the year, basically.
Bro, because you wake up, it's dark. Finish work, dark. And it's mad cold as well. Dark. Yeah, looking at the bank account, it's dark.
Yeah, everything's dark.
The clothing is very dark.
Yeah, exactly.
I wear black a lot anyway, so.
Yeah, I don't need an excuse, but
you know
this time of year, fantastic. Just cutting through, just blending in.
The other day, like, I was thinking, like, I really got into Fols about this Bali situation once upon a time. And I'm like, I might have to. The wind was just slapping me up. And I was like, you know what?
But you're looking at it from a point of view of like, there's a practicality to it.
I'm not trying to intimidate anyone.
Yeah, when the man was wearing the ballies, it was more like, oh, we can wear face masks, and then people start wearing ballies. And then for certain man, it's wonderful because they're cutting through because that's their life. Other guys, it was a fashion thing. So
yeah,
I'm seeing less and less of them, but every now and then when someone's got like the proper one on, I'm like, oh shit. I remember, there was a time period when we was wearing face coverings. But like, imagine you come out your block and like, you're going to go check the post and someone walks past you, ballied up.
The thing is though, if you've got like the Nike, the dry fit one.
Yeah, that's more younger generation.
Yeah, like I can understand it a little bit. But if you've got like the woolly.
Yeah, if you've got the old school.
The burglar.
With the shotgun, that drip, East End.
Then I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm just like, obviously where I live, it makes sense for that to be part of the attire. But at the same time, I'm like, hey man, can we?
Are the babes like in that side of town, like wearing them out on the roads?
No, I haven't seen that. If there are any babes wearing that, they're not babes that, you know, would even be on my radar. I'm like, yeah, hey. Yeah.
You can wear it in the bedroom, but
that's different, man. That's role play. Let's get sexy.
But outside, that's crazy.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you need to run.
Run for safety, innit? So
run for safety when you see it, man. But you know, it's that season, bro. Everyone's just tired. Everyone's moving mad. Like it's just one of those things.
I feel like you got some hate to get off. Everyone's moving mad. You got something to get off your chest.
Nah, just like, you know, like I just know that when people start to wind down, you know, Christmas trees are going up. Decorations are all over the place. Some people had started putting their trees up from November.
I'm not mad at them, man. Just get out.
Nah, I'm mad at them. Why, bruv? You're applying pressure.
But if you're one of those people that's very Christmassy, I hear it. Do what you want to do. Or some people, like, this might be their first Christmas for like a newborn and they're super excited.
That is true. That is true.
You know, do what you want, man.
Because when my little one starts seeing like decorations up, like, oh, but so and so has got. Do you want to go and live there?
Oh, she hitting you with that?
Go and live there then.
Tree. Okay. That's how you know you've been a parent for a while now. 'Cause back in the day, those things would affect you. Now you don't.
I would have ran to get that tree, boy. Yeah. But now, like, you know, it's up when it's up.
Of course, man. I'm not mad.
But my mum's on it this year. She's already started decorating.
Our parents prepare early, man. Back in the day, my mum used to buy Christmas presents for Christmas in the January sales.
Yeah.
She'll be asking you, like, in November for next Christmas, what do you want for next Christmas? These times, my plans could change.
Bruv, like, yeah, that's OT's.
Like, mum, come on, man.
You know, but nah, at the end of the day, like, it's all fun, innit? Like when the house is all decorated up, it just looks better.
Yeah, nice.
And you know, you're fully immersed in the festive period, man.
When you drive past those houses where they've got all the light, it looks like, I would never do it because my electric bill crazy. But the people, when you see them, have got all the lights out and they got their garden decorated.
Yeah, my daughter lives in the suburbs, so like you're always gonna see
that one house,
that several houses that just go OTT. I'm like, rah, boy, like the electricity bill on this street must be nuts.
You need to befriend their children. Those are your pals now. That's who you need to be hanging out with.
No? Yes, maybe. I don't know.
You say you need a bit more?
Yeah, because like you're just gonna start coming back, and you know what I mean.
Or start preing how we're living.
Nah, well, you know, she's good. Ain't no complaints, but don't let other people's stupid children infiltrate your mind.
Steady. I hate you because peer pressure is crazy.
Yeah.
So. But hashtag Off the Cuff Pod.
Come on.
We are back. A good, honest conversation. Never hurt anyone.
Yes.
So listen for the first week. My name is Fols Forever.
I'm Mr. Vance.
And shouts out to the Chrissy Hive.
Chrissy Hive.
We are one member down this week. Chrissy's a little bit under the weather.
On sick leave.
We still need to review it. You know, you come back, you got to...
I'm yet to like, you know, call in sick.
Yeah, you had a sick in a while, innit?
Yeah. I'm happy about that. But
you got one due.
I just know that when it hits...
Yeah, no, because the last time you was proper.
Done.
Yeah.
Came out looking malnourished.
It was good though, man.
Looking all gaunt.
Yeah. Slimmers. Usually I fight my illnesses, but like the last year and a half, anything I feel, I'm like, no. I'm sick.
Yeah.
That was me back in the day. It was either I was never ever sick, or when I was a little bit under the weather, I'll just fight for it. Now, bro, I'll just milk the man flu. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm under the weather, man.
Well, yeah, this is the thing, man. Like, and at the moment, like, we're getting our first wave of like really cold weather.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you don't have your wits about you, if you don't have like your coat patterned, then it's peak.
What are you saying?
Black Friday just went. What are you saying? What was that like in the household? It wasn't given.
No. Well, you need to ginger me a bit more. I've seen the Black Friday sales.
What, you want 70% off?
I mean, if they can run it.
I mean, I expect that from like certain brands. Like, you know, like if you're the brand that like has 40% off all year round, don't give me 40% off on Black Friday.
No. Let's be
like, come on, let's be guided, innit?
Like, I'm not being unrealistic. If someone wants to give me 70% off, I will absolutely take it. But some of the stuff I was seeing, it also felt like, of course, this could be just me nitpicking. It felt like you put a little price markup and it took some money off. It still didn't make sense. You know, if it's a sale, I want to really feel like I'm winning here, innit? And I wasn't actively looking for anything. Sometimes with sales and reductions, whatever, you end up buying it because, you feel like you're making a saving. But I wasn't looking for anything in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm spending money that I actually didn't need to spend. So it was more of that. So I didn't really look too tough. I looked a little bit. I was like, I'm cool.
So there was an infamous like Dior jacket that went viral. Like, what are you saying? If it went 70% off, you copping it?
The problem with that jacket's now tarnished.
What, in Biss?
I said, Dior. What a week for Chrissy not to be here.
Bro.
Oh my days. Nah, man, we might have to start there, you know, man. Like, even before we was recording, I was thinking, what could we start this podcast playing? Could it be Christian Dior? Could it be How Many Drinks? Like, there were so many different tunes I was thinking we could start this podcast with, because they're
DBE songs.
Yeah, they're going to be
mad
certain
DBE
weeks
songs.
we're going to have wonderful conversations. But every now and then, we need to get into the pig pen and roll in the mud. And this is one of those weeks.
Yep.
It might be for 5 minutes, it might be for 20, but we need to roll around a little bit because...
Yeah, I mean, bro.
Certain man are in toilets.
That nigga munch.
That's not munching, bro. That's something else.
Ooh.
That's like you're starving, bro.
Yeah, starving.
Okay, let's start there, yeah. So, if you haven't seen the video, I'll give some context.
Yes.
A young lady and a young man were at an event, having a wonderful time.
Youngest relative, you're being generous.
Of course. But I'm trying to set the scene, innit?
Yeah,
I'm trying to
enough.
be nice.
Yeah.
They haven't had a lot of niceness over the last 24, 48 hours.
I hear you.
So, a young lady and young man were at an event. You know, I see you, you see me. You know, you see me, I see you. And it was in the air in regards to, romance, innit? And they decided to go and, show each other how romantically they felt about each other in the toilet cubicle, innit? And the day and age we live in, of course, someone decided to record it and show us. So we get to see live and direct footage, different angles, you know, like it was insane.
That was a real ceiling challenge.
We're talking about the ceiling challenge.
Because them man were clinging on like Spider-Man.
That I didn't like though. I know I'm going to start being too serious, but I'm like, Donnies are standing on like toilets to get like hungry like hyenas to get like perfect angles.
It was like when Mufasa was clinging on for dear life on that cliff.
And you know certain man on that tool, so they're hanging on.
Bro, they were hanging on like the feet are all kicking the door.
Yeah.
And the two individuals were unfazed.
I still can't. I don't know what level of liquored up that is, but I need to check my wing mirrors because I don't ever want to be that drunk that there's that much noise behind me, flashlights.
Bro, a couple man giggles like,
I
and
know certain
I'm
man,
still
they're heavy footed, like, you know, stomping around the toilet.
Yeah, like it's just, and man didn't even flinch, did not care.
But that's a man that's got his eye on the prize.
Tunnel vision, finger blasting.
I will say that I enjoy, you know, the beautiful game, innit? And there are certain people that have wonderful, like he's got a good touch, good technique is, I ain't mad.
Nah, pass the ball first. Take a touch.
In that setting, there's nothing to pass, bro.
That is true. Because the lack of composure I saw, was like...
I also respect a woman that knows what she wants.
He's like, suck it. Nah, I'll eat it first.
I'm ready to be so unserious.
Bro.
Like, he tried to hit with that old school one, like, just do me first. Because
she was like, nah. He
said, eat it.
Bruv, what happened to the no spray, no lay uncle?
He was with one of the dons recording, surely. Or they kicked him out. You know, you just give man the time
uncle
and say,
face front while I face this front.
Yeah, watch your door.
Man.
Listen, I don't want to be too judgy because we're all
saying, is that your type of vibe?
Not a type of vibe, but like those things don't surprise me, innit? At the end of the day, we should never have seen it. For us to know.
It is true.
If you were there and you know.
It's true.
But there should be no recorded evidence of it.
Yeah.
But now there is, we can laugh at your pain. It's funny because it's not me.
Do you know what it is? It's that like you said, man, it's just one of those things that we shouldn't have known about it. But the salaciousness of it all, plus on top of the fact that people had spotted rings on both their fingers. Now,
what, Lord of the Rings?
Hey. He was like, I'm the Lord of this ring tonight, because Donnie's face was plastered everywhere.
Oh, what was killing me is
at first.
Initially, everyone's cooking her like, oh, this is so bad, because you see her front and center on him. But the thing was, like you said about the jacket, that's a very distinctive jacket.
That is a super that's the jacket that you wear when you want everyone to see you.
I'm outside. I'm at the event.
And shades.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you want it to be seen.
Yeah, you're seen indeed.
Like, but we need to. Maybe I'm not the messenger for this.
Go on.
Like, as in, we need to be able to control our liquor a little bit better. But
you've never been. I don't know.
No, I ain't never got to that point.
I don't know.
If I'm wasted to the point of no return, yeah, like I'm ordering an Uber, someone's getting me an Uber, I'm out. Yeah, I'm out. I'm not trying to do things way out of character.
Yeah.
But this is it, man. You shouldn't have too much Casamigos and Henny at the Blackie brunch.
At the Blackie brunch? That's racist. It's giving Farage. That's giving Farage.
Bruv.
That's giving Farage.
Because every time I saw someone's table, yeah, there was just a lot of shit like that will send the best of us like on our way.
But I'm not mad at all that stuff. I like the carrying on
hear it.
And the shenanigans and people having a good time. Like, there should be a line. Okay, maybe me speaking for me, I feel like there is a line in it. But like, I'm not going to act like I've never been in public and got a bit hot and heavy with someone that I like.
On that PDA.
Yeah. But like,
that is PDA like 3,000.
That's not even PDA. That's something else.
Yeah, that you can't call that PDA.
Because there's a hygiene issue here, innit?
In the pissy toilets.
Because if you can eat there, you can go to, they say that, the Chinese slap spot is 1.5 stars.
Yeah.
You can go there.
Yeah.
Because man are eating off the toilet seat.
Yeah, like, pissy residue on the beard and that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, man scrubbing the bowl, you know. The beard come like Brillo.
Oh my God.
Fam.
It's all a mess, man.
It's all a mess, man. And like, I had some people on the ground.
Oh, okay. Well, you got roving reporters. Get messy if you want to get messy, man. It's fine, man.
I just heard that toilet wasn't the place to do that.
Oh, okay. It was one of those.
It was just a horrible toilet.
In comparison, how bad? You know, like when you go to festivals and like you're in one of those like Portaloos. Was it on that level of bad or?
Probably not, because it was like in an old hotel, I think, where the venue was.
Right.
But they were just like, it was just frowsy in those toilets.
Okay.
Someone said that the toilet reeked of fart.
Okay. Shouts out to your reporters on the ground. I love that you got some journalists on the ground giving you that all access.
Bruv, I'm like, yeah, like the smell alone would just, like, what happened to your car?
But this is probably an example of like I said, if we're doing the Lord of the Rings thing, where both people don't have the opportunity to go to respective places, so it has to happen now, and that's when they got too carried away in it. Like,
Yeah, because like, you know, they're probably both in respective relationships.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it now. But now things are ruined.
But you know, it is okay. Even though maybe I'm adding asterisk to my opinion, maybe I'm adding to it, but us even talking about it. But like I said, I'm not going to act like I'm above talking about it because it's hilarious and it was on the internet. There's a line of like hilarious, and we'll talk about the other
Yeah,
stuff.
for sure.
Well, but like, you've taken the videos which I don't like, and then sharing them. It shouldn't even got out. Cool. But now we've got everyone outing all these people. Like, you know, like there's just like the thirst to like, oh, we need to know who these people are, innit? Like, we don't really, innit? And
Yeah, no, we don't. We
like,
don't need to know who these people are. At the end
we
of the
haven't
day.
seen or heard from Dominic Soler in like a decade plus.
Oh, were you saying like the pressure's off?
He could come out this year. It's the big reveal, bro.
He can finally walk through, like, you know.
And that's shit, because, okay, cool. Settings wise, would I encourage you to be doing that outside in public? Because you can actually get in trouble for that. Like, you get put on a sex offender,
bro.
stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you get put next to the kiddie fiddlers, all those people, because you're doing stuff outside in public because it's public decency. Whatever.
Now you can't pick up your own child from school.
It's mad. But in terms of where we're at now as a culture and what people are doing now, yeah, Donny was a visionary. Maybe not for outside, but like, he was ahead of the game.
Yeah, but his thing was on the steps outside on New Year's Eve.
Get it whilst it's hot.
It was cold outside.
He was hot.
Mate.
I feel for everybody. Like, I'm just like, nah, I wouldn't want this to mash things up for people. I don't know what careers people are in, or just like the, you know, like the getting dragged online or just having your name kind of rub that in the mud. Because some people aren't like that visible on the internet, innit?
Yeah.
We all use social media to some level, but like some people just kind of skating through and doing whatever they're doing. But now people know you for this thing, innit?
Yeah, apparently
I don't know
the
these
babe
people from before, but
yeah, apparently the babe deleted all social media.
bro, you got to do that. Every time you open the app, you're seeing yourself.
Stand on business.
She was sitting.
Fair.
She was sitting on business.
She was sitting on business because she
Hey,
told
shouts
that
out to her,
Don.
though.
Yeah,
she said, I'm leaving with something.
Yeah, she was like, I'm from run away. I'm leaving with something because she told that Don, you put your meat away.
Yeah, but the thing is
Get to eating.
That's also where Donny's too hungry. Man had his cock out ready.
Ready.
He's like, suck.
She was like, nah. They were saying that he was trying to start a fire with his finger.
Yeah, you know what? I take some of the stuff back I said about the technique, whatever. It like, yeah, he was at a certain point very aggressive. I was like, you're digging for gold there, bro.
Yeah, but you know, she had that water like Tyler.
Jesus Christ. I've seen obviously you don't know what's real with social media or not, but I've seen that screenshots flying about that, like, you know, homegirl is now going to report this basically, and that's where we need to be careful as well. Like, none of us are there, so we don't know what's consensual, what's not.
Wait. Sorry, she's reporting.
I'll show you.
What? What, the people that did she know the people that were filming?
I don't think she did, and I do side with her if that's her angle. I don't think they knew they knew they were being filmed.
Right.
I don't believe so. Look. It's peak, bro. Van stares in shock. There's a lot going on. So, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but with like the extra commentary and obviously everyone sharing it and reposting it here, there, and everywhere, you're saying someone's deleted their socials. It wouldn't shock me if someone has an adverse reaction to that. And it could just be deleting their socials. It could be, you know what? You lot are playing with me and I feel embarrassed and I go and do something.
But then it implicates the Donny.
But at that point, we don't care. Like, you're already implicated, innit?
As in, like, saying that she didn't know what was going on and she was intoxicated could imply that there was no consent in that.
And if that's the case, that's an L he's going to have to take, innit?
Yeah.
I'm not going to act like we're not all grown, we've not been outside.
True.
And, you know, you've had drunken moments, whatever, but that's where you do have to be careful because you can't always guarantee that.
And when they see how Hammy was going with the finger blast.
There's that, but I think it's just going to where it went to online.
Yeah.
And my thing is there's one thing filming, that's already bad for me, in my opinion. I'm sure people agree as well. There's it also getting out, but it's like, bro, like, they shouldn't be doing what they're doing, cool, whatever. But why is everyone so hungry to film it? Like, what's there to gain from filming?
And do you know what the even more disappointing thing about this thing was, was that the age range of the people that were at that event.
You're saying they were grown.
You
should know better.
You should know better. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how things were during the first Afro Nation, right? And filming, and those people were rightly so getting cooked and stuff. Like, you know, this isn't something that you should be doing. Plus sharing, like, why are you hungry? Like, this is stuff that people do, and if you're going out of your way to film it, where like it's within a toilet cubicle, so it's barricaded, like, so to go and see that, you have to climb. These men were hanging and climbing and, you know, getting footage for what gain? Yeah,
it just cook your bread in a group chat, man.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if it was one of those things where like the people that were there knew and that was it, then cool. Or like there was like, I'm not going to diminish the fact that people gossip, cool. Even do that.
Of course, yeah.
But the whole filming thing for us to see, obviously, like, we're laughing about it in terms of like from an entertainment standpoint, but if you're being sensible about it, like, it's just,
it's a lot.
You're growing in it. Allow it.
And I was having a chat with my brethren. I was when one of my friends saw it,
and if that's one of your brethren as well, if like it was one of his brethren that were doing it, then bro,
it most likely was, because only a brethren.
That's crazy.
It's going to your friends. Even though we should leave my man alone. The whole Dominic Soler thing, it was his friends that were filming him.
That's crazy.
And of course, I think obviously then social media wasn't what it is now. So maybe like innocently not thinking, but like once things just go out, there's like digital. Once it's out, it's out. You can delete off your social. Once it's out, one person grabs it, posts it everywhere, it hits the blogs, all these things.
And this is the low maintenance type of friendships that you claim against women friendships. Nah, man, sorry, bro. Bro. City Boy is down by 2,000 points.
I say 2,500.
2,500 points.
Actually, you know what? I support
City Boys are down, bro.
Because eating in the cubicle, we have to deal with you there, and the filming thing for me is nuts, man. And if that screenshot is true,
and it was men that was filming.
Yeah, because like I said, everyone there was grown, innit?
Grown. Like, I'm seeing no hairlines, grey hairs, like all of that.
It just shows you age doesn't always bring wisdom.
Yeah, it's true.
It doesn't, innit? So, but shout out to the Eat Out to Help Out community. You know,
yeah.
I ain't mad at you.
We needed it back, but not in this way.
Yeah, no, this a lot.
Bruv.
I'm full.
Yeah. Hey, yo.
I'm sorry.
Bro, they're never going to want to see a Casamigos or a Hennessy bottle
if you were
in a while.
Taking something else, if you were the person or persons running that event, is this good or bad PR for your event?
Not for me.
Okay.
This is not good PR.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like, everyone wants to know now what the event is. And I'm just hoping that it doesn't, like, obviously, like, they're an established business. I know that they've been doing events this year.
Right.
I'm not too like privy on you know, their past stuff, but I've heard of them this year.
Yeah.
I just hope that it doesn't for their next one, I hope it doesn't like entice riffraff
Or the wrong crowd.
To come thinking that this is the type of stuff that goes on.
Yeah. Because these things happen in like nights out in club toilets. It's not a new thing. People have sex in clubs, in venues, like these things go on, innit?
Yep.
You know, so it's not a new thing, not like, oh my God.
Yeah, this isn't anything new, and you know, you niggas know what sex is, innit? Like there's no reason for you, man, to start climbing up the flipping thing like Harvey in the 21 seconds video.
Shout out to Harvey.
Every lyric I do.
Every lyric I rock, every lyric I say. Hooray. I'll never forget when I was it in Finsbury Park? There was one wireless where people were climbing the gates. It reminded me of that. Jumping out of the sky like Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Just to get into the venue and that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, people
that is crazy.
So.
Like landing, if you don't land correctly, like that's your ankle's done.
No one's landing correctly because no one's been taught how to, and people are liquored up, all types of substances, balloons. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Just because you didn't want to pay the money.
I want better for my people. That's how I'm gonna end it.
I hear it, but like all communities have like ratchet moments and riffraff and that. Like, bro,
I ain't seen any other community film this.
You've never, bro. I coming up. Remember when MTV moved away from showing music videos and they went into like reality TV? We watched Geordie Shore. Like,
yeah, but like
I've seen hella ratchet stuff from different communities.
I feel you.
Yeah,
but I'm talking about. For me personally, I haven't come across it on social media. I ain't seen none of that shit.
You might need to white up your timeline a little bit.
Well, Fiat 500.
Yeah, just add some white to your timeline, man. Little oregano.
But do you know what? I don't even want to do the comparison thing either.
Yeah,
just come on, man. Like,
I
do something.
Man,
like,
I want better for my people.
The thing is, if they were a lot younger, I would have maybe provided a bit more grace. Like the excitement levels are still there.
That I will side you 100% because, like you said, everyone there is. But it just shows you, even the big people that slackness doesn't stop. Like,
bro,
it goes on.
They're working. They're overworked. Yeah. So
all the TFL workers driving trains and that. I hear it, man. You lot stressed out, man.
The time to de-stress.
Yeah.
Grab me a little piece of that Casamigos.
Damn, man. Alcohol, man. I was watching the video thinking before we got off this, like, how horny is too horny? And that's on the scale.
Yeah, some man's. I'm not gonna say it.
Wow,
I'm not gonna say it.
Man's editing himself in the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, shouts out to you.
I'm being guided.
Okay, I respect it. I appreciate you being guided. So I'm happy for you that you're being guided. But we started this podcast. You're playing a little mashup of.
Yeah, a bit of the old and the new. Yeah. Obviously, I don't know if you saw, but this week, Unknown T announced his album.
Is that dropping on the back end of this month?
Yeah, but so Blood Diamond, it drops, it drops next year.
Next year.
12th of January.
12th of January.
But it's something that like, I've kind of been looking forward to for quite some time because I know that he's been working on this for a while. And he's dropped a couple singles.
I liked his Daily Duppy.
Yeah, he dropped the Daily Duppy. He had Right Hand with Nux.
That was cold.
Yeah, nice little video. They did well going back to back. And then he dropped Welcome to My Strip not too long ago with a name I don't know how to pronounce.
He was making me laugh though because he was saying he dropped a video recently where he basically saying, "Oh, listen, like you don't always have to like use big budgets, innit? Like I borrowed this dog, I borrowed H's Maybach." I was like, bro, some of your resources in comparison to other people's resources aren't the same. Of course, use your network around you, but like saying, "Oh, I didn't use a big budget for this video, but I could go and get a Maybach from H and grab a Husky from someone else," bro, like. You have a bit more at your disposal in it, but I hear the sentiment.
Saving money in it because he lives.
Bro.
Even the artists are out here like, you know.
It has to make sense because if this song it's not guaranteed it's gonna go like that.
Yeah.
Or you've already, some songs like you might put a snippet out or the song comes out and you promo like Heady One Martin Sofa.
Yeah.
The promo for it was so crazy that like you could almost guarantee it's going to do a certain level.
Yeah.
So you go and put a bit more money behind it, and you know, I don't know if they did or they didn't, but like you put more of an effort into the video.
It just raises like anticipation a little bit, especially like from his fan base and like just everyone around that is just watching.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think Unknown T, like he came out how many years ago was it now?
Might have been 5, maybe.
Homer and B, like it.
He entered the game brazy.
He entered the game so brazy, and like that was something that, like we don't have someone like him. No. So it's like, all right, cool. This guy's quite unique. He's got this amazing flow to me personally, and
it's hard to stand that natural space because everyone's got the same aesthetic.
Yeah, and everyone's sort of like the same
similar.
kind of like cadence and flow, and
the
you know,
story's obviously the same.
And then he comes in, and you know, it's something that everyone can kind of vibe to. That Homer and B.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm
And
saying?
we see him more personality. We see him do the JD, the Foot Asylum stuff, the date.
Yeah, if the shoe fits.
If the shoe fits. I've seen him come across quite well in interviews, like,
yeah,
because not all of those people give their personality like that. I'm not saying that has to be the blueprint for everybody, but it definitely helps, innit?
And then he had the colours. He did the colours, which was cold.
I seen him stepping into the fashion world a little bit as well.
Yeah. So there's so many different things that he's managed to do after spending time away.
Yeah, that's true as well. He had the big case.
He had the big case, like, so peak. It was looking peak for him. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and then obviously he bust that. Now he's out. He's been working on this album. There's been a lot of talk around like that it sounded cold, and Adolescence, obviously famous sample, done a nice little flip with him and Digger D, and they were going back to back. I think that was more of like, with the original Pain is the Essence, like there was a lot of lines that people could spit back.
Definitely.
This one, it was like they were kind of just barring.
Because you can't recreate that formula that we had with the original.
Yeah. Like, so they've put their own spin on it. They've sped it up a little bit, and they're flowing over like their usual BPM or whatever it is. And I'm not too mad at it. I know that like it is a bona fide classic, especially like to South Londoners.
No, more than South London.
More than like, obviously it started here.
Yeah, of course.
And then it's grown to be this like amazing thing. No, and sure. I did see like a lot of critique at the beginning when there was a snippet. Oh, we don't need more samples. We need more originality. But it's just part of the thing, innit? Like when there's a classic, you're gonna be sure to hear someone doing their own flip on it, like within years to come.
Do you know as well? It's like we forget as people that are, if you're listening to someone your same age range, 30 plus, that music is like, might be 15 years ago. Yeah. Around that time period, 14, 13 years ago. Yeah. So for the generation coming up now, we obviously lived it, they didn't, but that's old school music to them. So I'm not mad at it. Mm-hmm. But obviously, I lean more to like,
that 15 years ago is the old school to us, to be fair.
Of course, what I'm saying, but we lived it where it's like,
it's true,
like,
it's true.
For them, it's like, of course they're going to go back because, if everyone looks at this as a reference point, let me go and work with it. I understand why people have an issue, and I lean more towards that side as well because like I like classics being left alone. Yeah. But we've been proved wrong at times when we spoke about Bel Air. Yeah. And they did a decent job. Yeah. I think what helped them though is they got the stamp and the seal of approval, having gigs, big ride, Dubs talking on it. So yeah. It helped that, innit? Like, it's not a shit song. It's never going to be better than the original. But the fact
I like that the OGs came in and, gave it that stamp of approval, like, and actually were involved in, like, their vocal is on this new one.
Yeah, it's just, it's acknowledging what this moment was, and that's more than anything. It's just nice, isn't it?
100.
So I'm like you. I'm not mad at it when it came out. Initially, I'm just like, leave the classics alone. But like with anything in the snippet generation, wait till when you hear the whole thing, and then you can make a full judgment.
What did Digger say? He fell out with Ma Dukes when she heard our blast Utes.
I mean, that's going to make your mum, like, look at you differently. Like, oh, my baby shooting niggas. Like, of course mum's upset, bro. What do you think she's going to do? Oh, my baby, he's a gunman. I'm so proud.
He's a good kid.
No, mum's going to be like, That's not everyone might not relate to this, but like people that like your first arrest and like when the disappointment in your parents' face. She's meant to be upset, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
She didn't raise a gun, man.
Yeah,
that's not what she wanted for you.
She was like, "You're a sweet kid. What happened?"
Yeah, like you love Nicki Minaj. That's
yeah.
Remember that video?
What happened? What happened to my son?
So yeah, I'm not like, come on, man. It's a funny line. And when I heard that as well, I was like, "Rah."
Yeah.
What do you expect, man? But now, shouts out to them. Shouts out to Unknown T. You said that was the 12th of Jan?
12th of Jan, yeah. Blood Diamond is called. Like he said, like he's dabbled in fashion. So even with this front cover, it's very, runway.
Artistic.
I've walked the runway.
Okay.
Kind of.
I'm waiting to hear it, man. No, I just wanted to acknowledge that what we started playing, because people always ask, like, just to dive in a little bit to the music we play at the start of the podcast.
Yeah, so. Do you know what? When I saw the announcement, I was like, oh, okay, like, there's finally a release date. So, and I've like just been peeping what he's been doing like over the past year or so. So like, it's
because you can't just keep releasing like this. A project has to be coming.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like it's just one of those ones, and like the track listing is
we've got any
17 songs.
Okay.
Obviously now what they do is that like they'll announce the album, and we'll just get said amount of tracks.
Yeah.
The ones that he's released already are on there, and everything else is just numbered.
Right. Okay.
So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 17 that like is already out there.
You've already heard.
So
I put a little pressure though, because if you have 8 songs on there, yeah, you've already heard. The rest have got to be banging.
They've got to be banging. So
they've got to be sequenced well for it to make sense.
Yeah, so I'm hearing that like he's got like orchestras in and all of these things. So
like all the big stops.
Yeah, so I'll be looking forward to hearing that new Unknown T, man.
Whilst we are doing music, did you see that thing with Tion Wayne? So he looks like he's prepping for a project, whether that's EP, mixtape, album.
Right.
He released another song with M24. They've got, I think, 2 already prior to this, London and Knock Knock.
No, I haven't heard those.
Yeah, so those are the 2 songs they got before, and I feel like they've hit when they've done collaborations.
Right.
And then the most recent one, I've forgotten the name, but the basic snippet dropped. I don't know where the conversation started from. I don't know if it's just like generally how we speak about music on the timeline.
Yeah.
And people kind of critiquing, because like, another drill, and like it was like kind of obvious lines.
Oh, okay.
So he obviously responded, and I like that he responded, yeah, because I'm like,
what was he saying?
It's just good to hear from artists, and I'll find some what he said, yeah, which I think was hilarious, yeah. How many Afro swing artists are millionaires or have something to show from it apart from your bring it back tweets?
God.
Let me do both and enjoy my life. If you actually have a fuck or gave a fuck, I'm assuming he's saying, I would have never dropped Keisha Becky and never went back.
Yeah.
NSC is still thriving, but it's not because of UK. Look at how many hits they gave you. They deserve more.
It's true.
This is the one that made me laugh though. I see Twitter dissing someone's best performing song on their album. The other day, you lot are useless. You made me think Corbyn would win. that was hilarious, because the mood online can make you think a certain way, but in real life, like, I think it was more the critique of we want to have more Afro swing Tion Wayne, but Afro swing didn't necessarily give him the big chain and the watches in the house. You had to build up to be able to do the drill, but in terms of his biggest moments, in terms of numbers and
he built foundation. I think like it's difficult because obviously like we would come here and we would discuss music and we would critique and then we would give praise, but I don't think we're unfair in our genuine critique, right?
His last album, was it Green with Envy? It didn't hit for me.
Yeah.
Because he tried to have the balancing act and it didn't work.
Yeah, so like I haven't always seen him as someone that can make projects, because for me, they haven't hit. Like, and that's not to say that like he hasn't seen success, because like if there's like 1 or 2 songs that has gone out of here, then I guess like he and whoever is responsible for his career or his situation are laughing, right?
No, he's a single driven.
Yeah. So the last song that I heard from him was the Amen one with Nines,
and that was cool.
That was cool. Do you know what I'm
Nice
saying?
video, but
the video was cool. You know, they went to each other's ends. Do you know what I mean? Harlesden and Edmonton. But I've never looked at Tion for a project, right? But I feel like within his rant, he is well within his rights. I think like that artists and anyone that necessarily like, you know, creates content for the masses, they just need to stick to their guns and don't follow what the timeline says. Obviously, you can scan through and kind of connect with your genuine fans.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna listen to every opinion, it's gonna warp, you know, your trajectory, like your artistic journey and things of that nature. So, you know, he has to stick with what is making him successful.
No, of course. I think the only problem, if I give any leeway to the people critiquing, is that it becomes very formulaic. So we don't hear from you for a bit, and then you might go and link back up with Russ. And it wouldn't shock me if in the next 12 months he's got another song with Russ. Because it's worked. You go back in. Again, M24, this is their third time linking up.
Yeah.
For me, the other two have worked. So I do understand it. But also your drill, in a certain way, when you're that successful, it starts getting a bit more detached from the street. So, you know, like not that you should care about that, because it's about money, shows, and it's more about the sound and necessarily the content and the lifestyle around it.
Yeah.
But the kids that are maybe running to like the street blogs or for like the new artists, that's like the Nankin he did last week he's talking about.
Yeah.
They really care about that. Yours is more of like you and Russ with like dance moves and good packaging are making drill almost pop.
But then, do you know what it is as well, yeah? Because like a particular movement or a scene is making noise, it kind of, online anyway, it kind of drowns out the people that are championing another sound, and then it makes it seem like that thing doesn't exist anymore, especially like to the artists. So they're like, all right, cool, like, you know, Afro Swing propelled me to a certain point, and then they always attribute the success to the money, which is where sometimes it compromises the actual art.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like, I don't know, man. And there's a lot of non-music people in music positions. So
music is a business, though, isn't it? So you're going to get that. Whilst we're saying that, I will give him credit, though. On that Green with Envy album, I think it's called, he's got a song with Six Lack.
Yeah.
I think called Spend a Bag.
Right.
And that gave me that vibe of Afro Swing. I'm like, it's there, innit? But
and that's an artist from across the pond that can do that.
And he probably isn't going to get that feature if he isn't going and getting the big success, like numbers wise and in the drill space. Whatever.
And they had collaborated before with that single with Manny Norte.
True, actually. True.
Yeah.
So maybe the link's built from there. So like, I'm not mad at him. It's a tough balancing act. You can't serve two masters. It's very hard. I think as well, because he's now so big in regards to his success, what it would take for him to dip his toe back into that is obviously the relationship with NSG, because they exist in that space, but more artists need to do that music for it to start popping and making sense. And then the bigger acts, it's not the nicest thing to hear, but the bigger acts will come back in and do that again because it's popping again. And he's clearly someone who, if a sound is popping like with drill, he will jump on it. Yeah. So I'm not mad at him. I do understand, because you know, it's always like, it's a nostalgia thing, isn't it? The time period of like the apartment parties and the A girls and the F boys or the uni race, because the whole uni circuit was a big thing, you know. Kenny All-Star was out there. You had Afro B. Like they all a lot of them, Mr. Silver, a lot of them came up together in that space. But like, that was for that time period. People do have to grow. Unless you did have the Make Afro Swing Great Again show. Yeah. And that looked dope. But the sad thing about that is they're doing what they're doing. A lot of those other acts aren't making music to the same capacity and level they are. So if they want that sound to keep, like, that genre and that space to grow, people have to do the music, innit?
Everyone is just in a rat race to be able to go out and do shows in big venues.
People want to pay the bills, innit?
This is like where the rush is coming from, and like it's almost as if, like, you know, they're forgetting to make the music that they actually want. Sometimes, like, you can hear it that, like, they haven't really put their foot in this. Like, they're just doing this because it's what's currently selling the most or streaming the most and things of that nature. If anything, like, Afro swing is more radio friendly than drill is.
Definitely, it is.
However,
but then it's also hard for Afro swing to penetrate because Afrobeats is so big.
yeah,
because people might not like it. It's a slightly watered down, you know.
yeah, but you know, there were gems that, like, if people were to keep at it and elevate, then you know it had the test of time to do.
I don't think it had the test of time. It wasn't around long enough for us to say it had the test of time.
Or like, I mean, like it had the potential to go on for longer.
Yeah.
But you know, that's another debate in itself.
Of course. I only brought just more because I was like, we didn't speak about it last week. It was on the dock, and I was just like, whilst we're speaking about music and stuff, I was like, you know what, let me just bring, because it became bigger because of how he responded.
Yeah,
and I just liked it because I'm like, I liked the community was saying about not listening to the timeline too much. He basically wasn't pandering. He was like, listen, how many people from this space have you seen be that successful?
And I love it.
You don't have any examples, so if this thing is working, how can you tell me if I can do all these things for my people? Like,
say Huss
to a degree, but there's still a big element of rap and different sounds. But that is an argument.
But that's like someone that's super into music with music people working on his album.
Yeah, so
he aligned himself with the right people.
That's a good example. Huss is probably one of the better examples, but I don't know what genre we give Huss solely. I think he sits in a few different pockets. And
obviously like other elements that, like, so someone like Kojo Funds, like he was one of the leaders within that.
But then your op is Huss,
so
you're gonna get drowned out.
It divides like the consumer, and then even though Funds was making good music, people were like, because of their loyalties to, you know, an artist that, you know, they just love.
I will say that time period of when Kojo Funds and J Hus were making like love songs to each other, because these weren't diss songs, these were love songs they're making to each other. Arriba, Arriba. I was like, yeah, you two are like, this is street shit.
Yeah.
But in a different setting.
Like when he dropped My Nine, Kojo Funds yes, the sonics sound great and it sounds like sweet, but what man's actually talking about?
It ain't sweet, bro.
It ain't sweet. You know, warning, people were raving to these songs.
Yeah.
Like, so
we'll dance to anything as long as it makes us like move our feet, not knowing we're not listening properly in it. So but yeah, shouts out to everyone out there, man, doing their thing, man. I feel like as well, like we've even changed how we speak about music compared to when we first started.
Yeah.
Off the cuff by nature and off the cuff by name as well. We probably just be like, shit. Now I'm actually a bit more measured, innit? Sometimes something's just blatantly shit and I have to get my hate off, and something's not even hate, it's just, this is dead, innit?
Yeah.
But to what you're saying, it's like, bro, you can't listen to everything that's out there, and sometimes it might not be for me.
Yeah, because like simple. Sometimes, like, you know, listening to too many opinions will stunt your growth.
Yeah, it definitely will.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because like at the end of the day, like everyone's on their own personal journey, and artists are people too, innit? And individuals, and they have their goals and objectives, and you know, they may have things that they want to do when they get into the studio, but then they'll hop on timeline for a week and it would just completely change their minds.
Bro, I want to pay my mom's bills, and you lot talk about I want to pay these bills. I want to buy a house, and you lot are saying, bring my Afro swing, allow me, man.
Speaking of Afro swing, young Bane surprises us with a brand new mixtape out of nowhere. I haven't, because I was looking for it earlier this morning and I couldn't find it.
I was annoyed because I see him announce that like when you saw it, it's coming out. It's going to be on SoundCloud.
Exclusively on SoundCloud and YouTube.
And I was like, right, Disturbing London, you guys will crumble.
But he hasn't been with them for a minute.
Yeah. But this is me just doing my conspiracy theory thing. I was thinking, is the release affected by whatever's gone on or is going on over there? Because I don't know if that's all the way figured out and done yet. Because if it is, why isn't the music out? Because like you said, I couldn't find it on SoundCloud. I've seen little videos here and there on YouTube. I want to listen to it in sequence properly. I don't want to just listen to it bitty and...
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing that I can think of is a clearance thing.
Okay, that might be it. It could be that simple.
But again, we won't know until, do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know...
I knew he wasn't done. He wasn't retired. It wasn't wasn't going to stop making music.
He's sitting on a lot of music. Do you know what I'm saying? One of my closest friends has a ton of music with him.
Okay.
So it's like, is that ever going to see the light of day? Because it's still good enough to put out, but he's just not within that space yet. So there's no album, even though he's spoken about an album before, but then you've got the mixtape now. And the one that stood out is the Back to Black song featuring Amy Winehouse and Gunna.
I heard he lied to us though. I heard Gunna is not Gunna. I heard his dog is called Gunna.
Oh, swear down.
Yeah. Because I've not listened to it. So
I haven't heard anything.
Speak to how good or bad the project is. I'm just speaking about all the stuff around it coming out and being happy that he's back. But my friend I was working with today, so like they listened to it, like it's not Gunna on the album. So he's not lying to us. It is Gunna, but it's not the Gunna we thought.
Right.
So when I saw that, I was like, right, what? I was like, what is that? Like, I want to see what this sounds like, innit?
And like, this is not the first time that he's been on a song with someone from a rapper from the States.
Yeah.
And it's not the first time Gunna was on Broken Homes with Nath Smalls and M Huncho.
Very true.
You know, he's on the song with Roddy Ricch and Chip. So
was that all when the plug compilation?
The plug compilation stuff. Yeah. So I mean, like, I don't know in it, but I like Young Bane.
I think he's cold. I think
he's cold.
He had and still has, if he wants it, a very high ceiling in regards to success. We had obviously Rihanna. I'm like, okay, cool. And I think Nicki brought him out, and I'm like, okay, cool. We actually have someone like Bonafide Starboy.
He had his what you call it? His own show, his first headline show or major headline show in Brixton a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I thought
the girls like him. He still at the time was appealing to the streets, but then that stuff happened in his own ends, and that kind of tarnished stuff a little bit. And
from a street perspective, especially,
so it starts messing you up. And then, like a few artists, like some we might speak about A2 because he released a project as well. There's just something that happened or happens over at Disturb in London with artists that I really like, that I was fucking with from like SoundCloud, and before they start getting to a certain level, and they go over there and it just doesn't work out. We've got the Quarantine tape, which I really enjoyed.
Really good tape.
Minus Charlie Sloth.
Listen, remove him.
We got a really good verse from G Fresh on Rubbish, I think it is.
Yeah.
So I was just like, the boy's got something. It's kind of like his to either like seal the deal with and go all the way, or throw away. I still feel like regardless how much artists we have out here, how many artists we love, he's still got a lane that for whatever reason we still fuck with him. Cause I saw so many people excited when he's like out of the blue, he's releasing music. I think there was some billboards like a week or two ago, but I missed them. Someone messaged me like, "Right, no, my man's was like teasing a comeback," and then I saw on social media projects coming out.
Right.
So like, and like to what you said as well, if you know people around him, there's a ton of music there. So, bro, come back, man. I don't think the story's done.
Yeah. I think that whole situation kind of like left a bitter taste in his mouth from a personal perspective.
Okay.
Where he was just like, yeah, I'm done for a little bit. So I think like that's where a lot of like, you know, the retirement talk may have come from.
Artists don't retire, man. They're like, no, man.
If it's like within you and this is like your livelihood, and you know you haven't quite yet hit the belly, he's got money, but you know, some artists just have that innate drive to just never leave the studio.
And also when you see your peers, like, okay, cool, like we love
especially if you think you're better than them.
Is it Any Minute Now? The tape with DBE.
Yes, classic for me.
You see what they're doing, bro. You're probably sitting in your house going, "Oh my God, like I should be."
I'm
there.
just as he could have the thought that like I'm more talented, or just as.
There's a reason why they collabed with you. There's a reason, and there's a reason why you collab with them as well.
Yeah.
Vice versa.
Yeah.
But like, look at what they've gone on to do, and I'm sure going to do as well, different levels. Like, bro, come back. And I'm happy he's back. So I'm going to listen to it properly. Hopefully, by the time this is out, we'll get it on some streaming platforms. Because I've still got a SoundCloud account. I know some people don't.
Yeah, same. I listened to Quarantine today, actually, on SoundCloud. I don't know why. Do you know what? I was looking for the tape. And then
he's like, I'm here.
I can't find it, and this is there. So I had to listen to it on on that. Well, I could have switched over to Apple Music. Is
But you was there, I'm hearing.
But I was just like, I'm here. I'm working out as well. So like, I just left it running.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Like, I look forward to hearing what he's on this tape.
Yeah, and if any of our listeners have checked it out, use the hashtag #OfftheCuffPod. Let us know your opinions. I'm sure by the time you lot do that, I will listen to it as well properly. So
100.
Check it out. We can switch our conversation a little bit though. It's a shame Chrissy's not here. I needed her opinion for this, but
yeah.
I think last week we were speaking about Nella Rose.
Yeah.
Bigging her up and that. And it always happens either Tuesday night or Wednesday between the podcast coming out after we've recorded, yeah. Something big always happens, innit?
Yeah.
And so she's on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. And the first thing was this issue with Fred from First Dates. Is the guy's name? Fred?
Yes.
Yeah.
From First Dates, yeah.
So they're having an interaction and he's basically saying to her, listen, like, I could be your dad, innit? I'm old enough to be your dad. Yeah. An expression that I've heard many times.
We've all heard it.
From our backgrounds. It's nothing, in my opinion, that serious. Of course, you don't want to negate people's grief because she's lost parents. And a lot of people felt, and I feel like a little bit, she took it a way she didn't need to take it.
Yeah, 100.
But I'm saying don't negate people's grief, so that might be me negating. But it almost, I'm going to add a Nigel Farage conversation in a second, started making her a villain of the piece. Someone that we really want to see do well on the show because this could be a big deal for her and like magnify her to a new audience. But
we were talking about last week, Congolese women's brand being in the mud.
And then Nella, Congo.
Yeah. I mean, listen, man, like I'm not here to police anyone's grief, right? Because it is a real thing, but I can still, two things can be true.
That's the safest. That's the get out of jail.
I mean, just my opinion, innit? Like, it may not be anyone else's POV, but I just thought that, like, the fact that she had the opportunity to sleep on it and was even worse.
So she doubled down.
She doubled down. It was like, okay, I think like a level of discernment needs to be implemented just because like you need to know where you're at as well. Obviously feel your feels and speak out, but if we're universally saying like maybe could have handled it a different way because like he didn't actually say what she was saying that he said. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
did I misrepresent what you said?
It's like, don't talk about my dad like you weirdo. That's not what you said.
Maybe she just got triggered and just heard dad and like you black out, not hear everything.
It's true, maybe, possibly.
I can resonate with being angry and like maybe not communicating my thoughts properly or like because I have a trigger and I'm just
absolutely. And ITV, I think they did still play a part in
shit edit.
Yeah, like just letting people dump on her.
Okay. You need a villain though. It's good. It's good for the TV because now you've got someone for people to like give the challenges more to.
And obviously, like because like this is someone that's like that we claim.
Yeah.
We want her protected a little bit better.
So should we? How do you look from like the community point of view? Should we just close rank because we know how hard it is for black women in society, darker skinned black women, plus size women as well.
Yeah.
Should we just close rank and go? You know what? Regardless of what everyone said, just support her.
I think like I think it was quite balanced in like the fact that people were calling her out that like, she may have went OTT, but they were still rallying around her. They weren't like saying, oh yeah, like this is it. Do you know what I mean? It was just like, we should be able to do that. Yeah. But some of the comments were disgusting. And this is where this is where we should rally around her because like people started to, talk about her appearance and this, that, and the other. Number one, like they're in a fucking jungle. They're not going to be done up. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's not that kind of vibe. And number two, the discourse that she had or the disagreement that she had with Fred does not mean that we should start, dishing out slurs.
Right, yeah. That's how social media works when watching shows, which is shit, but obviously we know when we have an
and we need to every now and again we get that realization again, like, oh, this is the Britain that we live in. This is the Great Britain that we live in.
We've got a London bias. Sometimes we forget like the rest of the country doesn't look like London.
Yeah, and London is actually London, regardless of like, how infiltrated it is with us.
And certain parts of London will remind you,
bro,
that you're a long way from home.
Yeah, like even like people that we rub shoulders with may have these views, just not as loud.
The
like
ceasefire protest,
Union Jack Twitter.
No, Union Jack safe. St George's Cross.
Yeah,
when that starts waving, that brings out a different side of
100,
patriotism.
100.
So to answer the question I was asking you, I understand. I don't understand if it all stand on business, close rank.
Yeah,
but I feel like sometimes it can be dangerous because you give people a full sense of reality, and I could be reaching, but I feel like some of that reaction can stem from an age thing and the way in which we interact on social media. We're like, I said what I said.
Yeah.
Movement. Yeah. And if you also add the fact that someone is, if I'm correct, I could be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong, but like we've watched them from university till now, I've always been in a creative space doing content. There's a certain unfortunately, colloquy we have when we go into the office and we work in corporate spaces, and not saying being a creative is a profession, but professional in the traditional sense, where you have to go and interact with your colleagues, but you might not really enjoy it, but you know how to communicate and navigate certain spaces.
Yeah.
When you haven't had to really come up like that, you may react to certain things in a certain way, and it might not apply here for Nella. But I looked at it, I'm like, maybe that's some of it a little bit as well, and also the spaces you kind of thrive in, YouTube. This is different because you're in a jungle. It's TV. You're around a lot of people who have been on TV for a long time period. You're also, I know what I'm like when I'm hungry and I'm angry. Being hangry is a lot, So
in a jungle,
the settings you're in are catered to you because you're Nella on a set. YouTube, question, all this stuff is catered to you. You're in a different setting now where you're around and amongst equally as, if not more, famous people, older people. It can be a lot. Yeah,
and this is gonna obviously be a learning curve for her.
Yeah,
because obviously, she's stepping into the mainstream now, where this is a television broadcast. You're gonna get a different type of audience than the shows that she's managed to thrive in.
Yeah. So,
I guess she hasn't necessarily been on a show of this magnitude before, because this is classic. It's become classic. British reality television.
Is this good casting?
It was probably done in order to boost the ratings. I can't lie to you.
And get engagement on social media.
This is what these corporations are actually looking for.
So it's just the times we're in.
Yeah,
you can't ignore the influencer space.
So if we it's a way to kind of boost ratings and have people watching.
Younger
and
audience.
It's a younger audience they're trying to appease to as well. And they're also trying to keep the conversation constantly going, having the use of the hashtag, rolling throughout the entire day. Because I remember when that thing actually happened, that incident happened, and it was just being spoken about for literally days on end.
They did the milk out. We're only speaking about it today because it happened after we recorded.
100%, man. And obviously, sometimes the timing is off, but she's still in there. They're still in there.
From what I've seen and people saying, they've made up now. So it's not even that deep.
But ITV failed to show that part.
Of course.
So
peak editing.
Yeah,
that ain't good TV, bro.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen disagreements on reality TV from ITV, and we've also seen the makeup,
right?
The making up. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's clear to see that she was clearly triggered by that entire topic and other things that she was mentioning as well that was pissing her off. So when you're already pissed off with someone, and then someone then brings up this triggering type of conversation for the at the person at hand, then watching that scene as well, he's far away, he's got his back turned, she's over there, and he's saying it in a way where she may have felt this is condescending, and maybe she felt that Donnie was trying to assert himself in that position where
older people can be condescending.
They can be condescending,
I'm not going to take that to the table.
because that's the first thing that they say when they're being condescending. I could be your dad or I could be your mum. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, we'll shoot her some bells. She's quite young. You know, it's her first time within this space. I do hear what you're saying, especially like, you know, a lot of the stuff that I see on social media, like, you know, no one can tell me how to feel, blah, blah, blah. Like, and it can warp people's brains.
Yeah.
Where they don't know how to, like, you know, assert themselves and, like, you know, really allow themselves to have an objective view. But hey, man, it is what it is. It happened.
It didn't help that the person that she had a little dust up with is like my man, who's quite loved, silver fox.
Oh, bro, like he's loved. He's loved. He's like a national hero. Black. He's like a national darling. Sorry.
So it's like, yeah, he could have picked someone else, and
he apologized as well, and he explained. So that's where a lot of the push, that's where a lot of the pushback comes from. It's like, right, he stood in front of you. He was like, I was unaware that I have offended you, blah, blah, blah. I was only saying that, you know, I'm a 51-year-old man and, you know, how she was speaking to him. Are you stupid? Blah, blah, blah. You weirdo. All of these things, she could have done without.
My little cousins can't chat to me. I'm a big man for you, bro. It's like, we know these things, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, even like now, like me being a lot older than her, I wouldn't speak to someone, you know, 20, 30 years, you know, unless like they were being really offensive. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, so, hey, man.
Yeah, I don't want to stretch your point. And it was funny, though, that like, her interaction with Nigel Farage, you would expect it to be a worse interaction. Actually, it wasn't that bad. That was hilarious, isn't it? And then I think that's what, like, it gave people more reason to get onto her. But I feel like if we'll get off this, like, people start stretching the conversation from like certain section of the community, maybe not supporting her, and then other people then like making her villain of the piece, like this. She's like this. I'm seeing publications, so I've never seen this before. Going and doing a roving reporter thing on the street, asking questions.
The general public, Daily Mail doing Vox Pops.
Yeah, the general public talking about it as if like she moved like homegirl on Big Brother, Roxanne, the actress, when she claimed my man hit her. Like, yeah, it's not that bad, bro. It's like
Roxanne.
It's mad, bro. So yeah, man. But then this is a classic case of this is why some people go, they don't want people from our community on certain shows, because we have the dialogue all the time about how black women get represented on Love Island or certain shows. So it's like, you know, but we should be allowed to exist in the mainstream as well. It's just navigating, isn't it? So
yeah, it's all about navigating, and you know, like I said, man, shout outs to Nella. She's gonna take this, hopefully, and, you know, look back, reflect, and she's going to grow from it. And I hope that she goes far in the show.
I hope as well. Because she's fine in the space she's already in. She dominates there.
Yeah, man, she's...
That's what I want to talk. That's what I wanted to ask you. Even though I said I was going to get off this year. This is Fols being Fols, whilst I speak in third person. Some people were getting onto her castmates that she does like content with,
her co-workers,
or not speaking out or not coming to her, because obviously, like, you know, you get vocal black women on the internet, and I get it, because they can resonate with being like marginalized, and they're supporting her, and then other black women are content creators. But like, where was Young Philly and Conan and Harry Panero and Chunks, etc., and all these other people? Why have they not spoken out? I think that's a fair question.
I think in terms of like when you're dealing with like adversity and you know, a lot of people jumping at someone that you say that you hold dear to you, unfortunately, like, you're in a public space, so there's going to be that level of expectation sometimes, right? Yeah. I do feel like people were going overboard with it,
right?
But I do understand those questions, because usually when things like this happen, the men are on mute, and it's the women that are always propelling themselves, like, to the point where they're the ones that are showing the real solidarity. But
it's going to sound harsh. Sometimes they don't have to. A little bit of that can be performative as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%.
In the grand scheme of things, she's going to be fine. It's just a shit side of being on mainstream television. To our point earlier, London bias. We're actually very small comparison to the rest of the country. You know, I do get it, but just because you see people doing content together doesn't mean they're as close as maybe they present. Because presenting close actually helps the content grow. Oh, my sis, my bro. So we really get invested in what they're doing, but they might not be that close. I do hear people though, because I reckon if it was Chunks on there, Young Philly would watch every hour.
Yeah, 100%.
He'd watch every hour, every
and
rerun.
Like, the clip that I saw where he was explaining himself, it just didn't.
It's cap. It
wasn't presented.
You've seen
right.
it. Do you know what it
like,
is?
I don't watch the show, but I've seen it.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you're successful, but not only successful are the busy ones, innit? Like, other people are
Also,
busy,
it's your brethren, so it's going to come across your news desk. I reckon it's one of two things. He doesn't want to comment on it, just to avoid it, or he might actually think she's moving a bit mad and doesn't want to throw her under the bus.
Yeah.
So if that's let's say it is the latter, it's probably better he doesn't speak, because then it's magnified out. Even Young Philly doesn't agree with her.
But then you don't have to say that. You can chat to her when she's home.
Of course.
But you can still, like, you know how you say, like, you know, you're going to defend your person even when they're wrong in front of publicly, but like, you know.
But also don't disgrace me.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Like.
No, you're right. I've said that. I've got to stand in it, yes.
Like, it's just my people. It's just one of those things where, like, I think sometimes the expectation is going to come from the people that love to come out and call people out. Yeah,
it's just where we're at now.
It's not really going to affect Philly and Chunks and, you know, them man like Harry Pinero, Conan. Like, the Conan thing is a reach.
Yeah, like you've seen them hang out once or twice.
like
behave.
Behave.
Let's not get crazy. I hear what you're trying to do, and I like it for the conversation.
Yeah, man. And like, you know, it's just, I think people were just a lot more hopeful because ITV were trying to appease to the young audience, and them man have the young audience in a chokehold. So it would have been nice to kind of like sway their young minds and opinions away from the attack of Nella.
Yeah.
That could have helped. And, you know, a way to move forward, like, it's just by saying, like, you know, you don't even have to say anything mad. Like, I stand with Nella, like, you know, lay off Nella, or, you know, just things of that nature. Yeah. But
it is what it is.
He was like, yeah, I ain't even got time to see my own family. Nah, bro, that's
shit excuse. He was lying, but I hear it, bro. Nice trying it. What I do find hilarious about that whole space, though, is like, and something I've been conscious of, it's like, have you ever like sat down and be like, what does my audience actually look like, and do I want that audience? Because, you know, like, sometimes you see people that we maybe have aspired to be in the space they're in. We actually look at, like, when they maybe make a foot wrong or the audience doesn't agree with them, you're looking like it's all these, like, young kids, teenagers, maybe not from our background, and, you know, that football avi Twitter, that side of incel, maybe a Jace.
Yeah.
And if you don't rock with how they perceive you, their, like, biases and isms and schisms jump out. Those things almost like they grate on me a little bit, because I'm like, would I even want that audience?
No, I'm 100% with you, and like,
and that's the shit side of doing this thing, is like, so what are you left with?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. But look, man, they're all going to be all right.
No, I'm sure they'll be fine.
I think she has the opportunity to start winning people over, and I think that she is slowly doing so. Like, you know, really showing the positive sides of her personality a lot more on the television. I've seen like a few clips. Like I said, I don't watch the show, but every now and again I see some of the clips that just happen to appear on the timeline. And I saw a clip of Marvin formerly of JLS, talking about, you know, when he first met his missus, Rochelle Humes.
Oh, I see that. My man said they had the one night to make it happen. They made it happen.
They made it happen. Yeah.
That's romance there. Was it New York, I think he said. I feel like
she had to work. Yeah, she was going on tour over there, and then he's going on tour over here. So, like, you know, that one night only.
And they conceived. That's
all it takes, man. A couple strokes and, you know, you've done the job. Just make sure you got swimmers.
Go and check her swimmers, man.
Go check your swimmers, man.
I've watched many a Nollywood film and that. The overbearing mother-in-law. She's not getting pregnant. This time it's the son.
Yeah, check your son.
Yeah, so it's nuts, man. What else was in agenda, man, before we move on to...
Let's see.
Oh, that's what it was. So good announcement. So the BRITs is coming up soon.
Yeah.
And they've added an R&B award.
Yeah.
Long overdue. And I feel like the last couple of years we've been, I won't say champion R&B, we've been speaking more and more about R&B just because there's been so much good R&B that's come out.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Let me see what the tweet actually was. So Brits 2024 trophy is here, designed by visual artist and painter Rachel Jones. Shouts to her. So there's a new looking trophy. Looks quite cool actually. New for 2024. This is a tweet from the Brits. We've introduced an R&B genre award this year. There will be 10 nominees for Artist of the Year and International Artist of the Year. So essentially, like, I'm not sure if it's gonna necessarily.
I've got the breakdown for you actually.
Yeah, go on.
So it says the Brit Awards today announced a new addition to the genre awards categories, which were first introduced in 2022.
Yeah.
In 2024, R&B will be one of 5 genre awards, along with alternative /rock, dance, pop, and hip hop /grime/rap, ensuring a visibility for UK R&B artists at the Brit Awards, with the 5 genre awards collectively showcasing the tremendous versatility, creativity, and diverse musical styles of British music. Eligibility for the R&B award will cover a 24-month period as opposed to the usual 12 months to ensure that artists that release music in those 2 years qualify and are eligible. A bit of me don't like that, but I hear it because you've overlooked that space for a while, so let's double back. But
so there was a quote as well from Yolanda Brown, OBE, and she's like, she holds a chair over there. She says, British music is special. The secret ingredient is its rich diversity of genre bending sounds created by the most eclectic artists of all backgrounds. It was this that prompted the Brit Awards to introduce genre-based awards in 2022, and we are delighted to continue this with the addition of the new standalone R&B category to join the 4 other genres that will celebrate in 2024. Our best wishes to all artists who are eligible. Now, this is where it gets a bit tricky.
Yeah.
So we don't necessarily like know the confinements of being eligible to be nominated for this award, which like R&B is something that isn't necessarily propelled to the forefront, but there are a lot of people that are doing the work that aren't necessarily championed. So it'll be interesting to see who is classed as R&B when the nominations are finally announced.
I think they're just purely based off like people that maybe are also putting bums on seats.
Yeah.
Cleo Soul will be
100%.
If that name is missed, then
if she's ignored, then
throw the whole thing away.
Yeah. Like you haven't taken it seriously, because it's not just the music, it's the fact that she has been doing sold out shows, and we're starting to see like recognition from outside of the UK. For sure. So like she's definitely flying the flag for like British R&B and soul. So, you know, to have her ignored, and plus she just gave us 2 projects back to back. So
I'm just interested to see who they nominate, to your point.
Yeah. So this is like, I don't think it's over. This conversation is over. I think it's just like one of those things where we'll have to wait and see. But I do see some pending outrage once the nominees are announced.
You know, it's like,
just want to see if they get it right.
Step in the right direction. I would like them to hit it out the park straight away. I highly doubt they will. So like I said, we'll probably revisit the conversation when the actual the nominees come out for that award category. But I'm just interested to speak about that. So like, okay, that's big. Maybe I don't recognize it being big, but like this is big because, you know, we saw back in the day, homeboy Craig David be snubbed. Historically, it was like 5 nominations.
Yeah.
When he left the UK, it was never the same since.
And you know, that went like triple, quadruple platinum.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And that's I know, yes, his foundation's in garage, but that's R&B. A lot of R&B.
That album, yeah, and you know, it's like it's held as a British R&B classic album.
Facts.
British music altogether, like he just merged things with a very strong R&B undertone throughout the theme of the album. So, like, yeah, man, it will be interesting to see what happens with that. And I hope it shines a lot more light on the R&B scene in the UK at the moment.
It should do.
Because it's quite healthy, in my opinion.
If they do get the actual category correct, it will give more hope to the artists in that space who are feeling overlooked.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it is a step in the right direction, and we always have this battle. I feel like we need to draw a line in the sand. All these award shows that we claim that don't matter and don't mean anything to us, we look for validation from them, and they do matter because it just is what it is. So
yeah,
we've got to be in it to win it. So let's get in it. So,
yeah, 100.
I think the music heavy this week, and there's been some like after that Diddy announcement, I feel like within a week we got Jimmy Iovine,
Jamie Foxx, Aaron Hall.
Whatever they say he did.
He did that shit. Yeah, he did that shit.
Some of the clips I'm seeing from him from old interviews, I'm like, you're talking crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's all there. Like, all you need to do is just pay attention, which I don't think people were doing back then.
No, I think they were, but it just was the culture.
Yeah,
because you can't act like you weren't aware. Like, grown men are having kids with children that are 16, 17.
The thing is that like we need to also take into account that social media has played a big hand in getting people out of here, because it's constant noise from the consumer. Whereas like back in the early 90s, as far as like Aaron Hall is concerned, a lot of people were listening to music just in jest without actually knowing the inner details, because there was no one really like out there exposing it in a way where, like, you know, we can get detailed things.
No, I mean, and also social media is like closing the gap. There was a bigger gap between us and celebrity back then.
Yeah,
like, and there was traditional.
It's the level of mystique.
Like magazines, TV, radio. If you're only coming around when it's time to sell something like an album, and in between that you disappear and we don't really see you out and about, stories kind of die down. And also, if that was the culture, a lot of people probably get silenced where you're not going to get a job, you're not going to work. And if all the like powerhouses have men and women that agree with this behavior, and
especially in print journalism, like I'm not gonna, like, if the label has the power to like shut down anything that's like been written about them in a salacious way, they will do that. So, you know, someone can come on social media, like, who's going to silence you, really? Yeah,
you can't silence the average person. They can say what they want to say, but yeah. I only brought it up because like there's been an update. So Diddy's now stepped down from his role at Revolt.
Diddy has stepped down as his role as chairman of Revolt.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that it's temporary, but I'm not sure.
No, they're probably waiting for the dust to settle.
Yeah, because there's other lawsuits that's been, you know.
It's not going to go away. Like,
it's not.
I was having this argument with my friend who was like, he's got so much peas. I was like, the damage is done so bad, you're just going to see the snowball effects. How far, or what we look at as damage, like, is it going to affect his lifestyle? It probably will, because I think the point I was making the other week was that, like, someone that wants to be front and center, you're going to have to cower now, and that now also will look as like an admission of guilt. He'd have to be a tough bastard to come out and just act like nothing's happened.
Yeah, man, and I want some of you, man, to stop the niggatry in it. Jesus like, Christ. You're doing Diddy Defense League when, like, bro, it's just too much. Like, I'd rather you say nothing at all.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Someone did say though that Brazy, but that if Jamie Foxx's victim is black, he definitely did it.
Okay,
because he likes milk, innit? That was the allegation. So they're like,
God,
because he had good favor, and also because this thing is so shit, there's going to be some stuff that's going to slip through the net, because there're probably going to be so many names coming out. And
he's saying that he's not settling for shit,
and that's the point I was making. I'm not mad at that, because if you aren't guilty, why pay, innit? You know,
he's looking to counter sue. Like, he said it's not the first time that this person has tried.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, then fight it.
So he was like, I'm willing to take it. He said he doesn't care how much it's going to cost.
More power to him, man.
So
if he's innocent, then yeah,
take that shit out of my name.
Go and get your innocence proven, innit? So
yeah.
But yeah, I feel like you was making a really good point about like how the Me Too movement hadn't really penetrated hip hop, rap, etc., or just the music industry in general.
Good choice of words.
Jesus Christ. But now it's going to be like a day of reckoning because it's like a really big fish to catch.
Yeah.
And we're just going to keep seeing these things coming up. And
he's as big as they come, though.
Yeah.
Diddy. So it's like, if we can get him,
yeah,
none of you man are safe.
You can get anybody.
Yeah.
So
listen, man.
But Aaron Hall, hey,
they did that.
Jail, bro.
Yeah. Get them.
Yeah, bro.
Take that.
It's coming, man. It's like, yeah. Certain man are going, guys. Russell Simmons, wherever you are, stay there.
In
bro.
Bali, stay there.
Because Donnie was really with Komora Lee, and he was like, I think he was like 17. And he was in his mid to late 30s.
Bro, when she's up doing video vixen with Usher, who's her age mate at the time, that makes sense. But then she's going home to a grown-up.
Yeah, it was nuts. And that's what's mad. I think that's your point about, I keep saying your point, but the social media thing is, that was in plain sight.
But the people that were putting two and two together, connecting the dots, where are they going to scream this?
Or they agree. Or it's culturally, for them, it's not a big deal. It's
at the time, a lot of that was happening, and it was like almost a part of society until a certain generation came up and said, wait, hang on, what?
Yeah. Culture shifts, innit? And sometimes we're good, sometimes we're bad. And I think on this end it's good because it's like, I think that was also the point I think we didn't touch on with the whole Diddy Cassie thing was we need to also be looking at these age gaps. I think we've spoken before about like how old or young you would date, like cliche conversation. It's also at points in life, like someone 31 for me shouldn't be anywhere near a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Even if that teenager is 19, about to be 20, the next day you meet them.
Yeah.
You're just at different places in life.
Like, what are the convos about?
Yeah. So, and the power dynamic, and then when you add for like those two specific examples, Russell Simmons and Diddy, those are two powerful men in music. And did Cassie's career benefit from it, from being with Diddy? One could argue it didn't. It probably hurt her more than it helped her.
Yeah, because one album from a 10-album deal is crazy.
Her best music wasn't even with him, it was with Ryan Leslie.
But under his imprint.
Yeah.
So he took her from someone that would probably had like, obviously RLS didn't necessarily have the visibility to take her where Diddy could at the time.
Yeah.
Like, so if, you know, for whatever other reason they would have went with another label, maybe it could have worked out in both their favor.
But does this make us... It'd be interesting to know how old Ryan Leslie was at the time as well. Because if she was young when she got a Diddy...
Yeah, because Ryan Leslie's not... he's also not a young man.
Because he was dating her first, innit? So, yeah, it's all a mess, innit? So, I'm sure there'll be more developments, and unfortunately, we'll probably have to revisit certain conversations.
Ryan Leslie's musical life went to tatters.
Not really, you know. Maybe not in the limelight, but I've seen so many things where he spoke about, like...
he's good.
To go direct to consumer and actually like really getting paid off music because he knew his actual, like in different cities, different countries, who his core 100 or 1,000 fans were, and he went directly to them.
Yeah, and a lot more artists are doing that because you can do that, even if it's just like 2,000 people buying your shit.
Yeah,
you're making a lot more than you would if the label were to put your hands on it.
That time.
When you lose the laptop with all of your production, that's what I meant. Where like it kind of, you know,